Tonight, Kent State students are using their voices for changes they want on campus.
Senate Republicans are looking to fund the Department of Homeland Security. How they plan on doing that without Democrat support. All of these stories and more as KSTV starts right now.
This is Kent Stater TV. This is Kent Stater TV.
Good evening. Welcome back to Kent Stater TV News. I'm Sydney Brown.
And I'm Joe Malbin. Thank you for joining us. We start with breaking news this Tuesday evening. President Donald Trump announcing the ceasefire deadline between the United States and Iran has been extended.
This comes as the deadline was set to expire tomorrow. The president says he extended the ceasefire until Iran submits a proposal to end the war permanently.
That's right. And Trump says that the United States will continue its blockade, which Iran has called an act of war.
And now back to Portage County. Kent State is increasing security measures across the main campus.
That's right, Cindy. Student input created this initiative for increased security on campus. Our reporter Talia Scassa has more. Hi, Talia.
That's right, Joe. At Kent State University, student voices are driving change, leading to new security upgrades across campus. A recent post from Student Life at Kent State University highlights new security cameras installed across campus in direct response to student requests.
What we hear sometimes in Student Life is we complain about something and nothing ever happens. We want to make sure students know that, hey, if you told us that you have a concern, we hear you and we're going to take action.
The message emphasizes student voices, showing how feedback helped shape decisions about where additional cameras were placed.
That was really what we did with these cameras, as we heard them express a desire. We found a way to make it happen, and we installed those cameras.
The project was funded through a grant from the Ohio Department of Higher Education.
So we worked with KSUPD to really look at the whole camera system that they have employed. Where do we see incidents happen more often? One of the things that was identified in that process was like bike racks,
allowing the university to expand safety efforts without using additional student fees.
We were hearing of bikes being stolen on campus, and they were maybe happening at particular other places more frequently. So we're like, we can train a camera now on that bike rack and have a little more security for those bikes.
Officials say student input played a central role throughout the process, from identifying locations to prioritizing improvements.
As well as just looking at where are students traversing, where are they at, particularly at night. So bus stops was another thing we looked at. Like, how can we make sure that all these things feel secure to the students?
The effort also connects to ongoing work by the Center for Student Involvement to keep students involved in conversations about campus safety and future changes. Student feedback is shaping campus decisions, with administrators responding more directly to what students are asking for. For KSTV, I'm Talia Scassa.
Talia, thank you. A Valley Forge High School student shot herself in the school cafeteria yesterday. Parma police responded just after 2 p.m. when the 18-year-old student fired one self-inflicted gunshot to her head. She was transported to a nearby hospital where she died. The school district posted a statement to families about checking in with yourselves and one another as everyone processes grief differently. Valley Forge is closed today and tomorrow, but counseling is available for students, teachers, and staff.
Well, authorities are investigating a fire that left multiple children trapped inside a home on Cleveland's east side this morning. Cleveland Fire said that the blaze broke out just before 7 a.m. When they arrived on the scene, firefighters found 4 children sleeping inside. Those 4 children were taken to Metro Hospital and are in critical condition. Authorities say the cause
Good evening and welcome to your Tuesday newscast. And I'll say grab your sweatshirt, umbrella, and sunglasses because you'll need them all with the plot twist Ohio is throwing us today. Because if we look right now, we're sitting in the nice low to mid 70s. In Akron Canyon, really not quite there with the 70 degrees, but if you were out this morning, you know, it was very cold, literally like 40 degrees, but you know, typical Ohio to get up to 70 degrees right now and all across Ohio. But if we go ahead and have a closer look of where we are in the Kent area right now, Kent, we are at about 67 degrees, and if you go but up by the north, they are getting a nice of a warm lake breeze where they're sitting at the 70 degrees right now. And if we go ahead and look at today's high, here in Kent, we had a high of 70 degrees, but as I mentioned earlier, we were sitting in about a low of 47 degrees this morning, but also still pretty nice out today as there was no rain. Pretty cloudy today though, no wind. But if we go ahead and look at tonight, while we are dry right now, there will be showers tonight a little bit after 10 p.m., 11 o'clock. A little bit of showers, nothing too crazy, but you will need that umbrella. So hope you guys all got to go outside and enjoy the nice weather today with the minimal wind and sun, but rain tonight. So that was a quick look at our skies and outside for today, but stay tuned to see tomorrow's conditions and the rest of the week, what they have in store.
Casey, thank you. Republicans in the Senate are working to fund the Department of Homeland Security without any Democratic votes. Their budget resolution calls for a simple majority instead of the 60 votes typically needed to pass such funding. The new plan would fund DHS through the remainder of President Trump's term without those reforms, but it requires the cooperation of nearly every Republican in both chambers of Congress. Today's resolution sets the Senate up to vote later this week. It would then go to the House.
Well, Federal Reserve Chair nominee Kevin Warsh in front of the Senate Banking Committee today for his confirmation hearing. He's President Donald Trump's nominee to succeed Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell. During his remarks, Warsh talked about the importance of the central bank maintaining its independence from political interference.
Representative Nancy Mace introduced a new resolution to expel a fellow Republican, Corey Mills, over sexual misconduct allegations. He is also facing campaign finance violations that the House Ethics Committee is investigating. Mills has denied any wrongdoing. Mace is going on to step forward, announcing last night she filed a measure that would remove him from office. Speaker Mike Johnson told reporters that House Republicans seeking to expel one another is not something he encourages.
A new analysis is raising concerns about the United States military readiness. Experts say that the U.S. has significantly depleted key missile stockpiles during the war with Iran, raising the risk of shortages in the future. According to the Center for Strategic and International Studies, the military has used nearly half of its most critical precision and air defense weapons. Well, Pakistan has placed its capital Islamabad under heightened security as peace talks approach. The heightened measures are ahead of the expected second round of talks between the U.S. and Iran, as the ceasefire deadline has been extended. Vice President Vance is expected to be in Islamabad today, but it is unclear whether Iran will participate in the talks. Well, college, once the no-brainer option if you want to achieve higher earnings. Now, many are wondering if it's worth it. Coming up, we'll break down what you need to know if you're deciding if college is right for you.
Real OGs remember.
What am I doing? What am I doing? I'm doing me. Right now.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
When I was growing up, my mom was extremely tidy. We were trained to put things back where we got them from. One day, when I walked into my mom's house, I felt like I walked to someone else's house. There was stuff everywhere, and just growing up the way I grew up and to see this transition was very alarming.
When Sean talked to me, it was a wake-up call, and that's when I went to the doctor.
And that's when I went to the doctor. And that's when I went to the doctor. And that's when I went to the doctor. And that's when I went to the doctor. And that's when I went to the doctor. And that's when I went to the doctor. And that's when I went to the doctor. And that's when I went to the doctor. And that's when I went to the doctor. And that's when I went to the doctor. And that's when I went to the doctor. And that's when I went to the doctor. And that's when I went to the doctor. And that's when I went to the doctor. And that's when I went to the doctor. And that's when I went to the doctor. And that's when I went to the doctor. And that's when I went to the doctor. And that's when I went to the doctor. And that's when I went to the doctor. And that's when I went to the doctor. And that's when I went to the doctor. And that's when I went to the doctor. And that's when I went to the doctor. And that's when I went to the doctor. And that's when I went to the doctor. And that's when I went to the doctor. And that's when I went to the doctor. And that's when I went to the doctor. And that's when I went to the doctor. And that's when I went to the doctor. And that's when I went to the doctor. And that's when I went to the doctor. And that's when I w
tomorrow's news leaders.
Today's top stories.
From an award-winning student newsroom.
This is Kent Stater TV.
Your community.
Your stories.
Welcome back. Well, Sydney, like I said a few weeks ago, we're unks. We're at the end of our college careers. I mean, we both graduate in just like over 2 weeks.
That's right, Joe. And it's the right move for us, I hope, as we're approaching graduation.
Yeah, sure.
But many people are reconsidering if college is worth it to them. CNN's Brian Abel has this story.
High school graduation season is almost here, and with it, some big decisions.
We estimate that of 2026 grads, about 46% are going to head to traditional four-year colleges.
Less than half, according to NerdWallet's analysis of federal data. Certainly a factor, the skyrocketing sticker price to go to college. U.S. News and World Report cites the 10 most expensive private colleges in the U.S. all have annual tuitions and required fees over $73,000 per year. That's not including books, supplies, or room and board. But that's likely not the true price, according to experts.
Most people do not pay that amount.
Instead, experts say, focus on the net price, factoring in financial aid.
Funds that you do not have to repay. So that's going to include grants, scholarships, and programs like work study.
Another factor when asking, is it worth it, is the return on investment. Economics professor at Wellesley College, Phil Levine, says it's an investment decision. And while nothing is guaranteed, there's a high probability of success.
We're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars over the course of your life of higher earnings.
But experts also stress that college or no college is a personal decision, and it isn't for everyone.
A lot of it is about people knowing who they are, which I think mostly they do. If you really like working with your hands, a skilled trade is a great opportunity, and you should pursue that.
In Washington, Brian Abel reporting.
Is your doctor using ChatGPT? Well, many doctors are now using AI chatbots at their practices. Experts say medical chatbots can assist doctors and trainees in various ways, including helping draft summaries of patient visits and hospital stays and help build a list of possible patient diagnoses. Experts add that it's important to talk to your doctor about AI chatbots being used to augment your care and how they're using them, what type they are using.
One mission ends and another begins. As NASA continues America's return to the moon, NASA employees and space contractors gathered in Louisiana yesterday to see the rocket that will take Artemis 3 crew into space. This is the Michoud Assembly Facility in New Orleans. They've built space rockets here for more than 50 years. About 1,500 workers helped build this rocket core stage, along with the Orion crew capsule and the Artemis launch abort system. It will now head to the Kennedy Space Center in Florida. Its journey there is expected to take about a week.
Keeping you informed and ahead of the storm, this is your KSTV weather.
Welcome back. Now let's continue with the rest of our forecast, and we'll take a deep dive in tomorrow and the next few days. Tomorrow is same story as today. We are going to have a high of 74, but that won't be till later. Tomorrow morning will also probably be cold with a low of 47 degrees. So keeping up with the ups and downs, but also slightly calmer winds than we had today. So that will also be beneficial. And we are seeing the sunset not till after 8 p.m. tomorrow. We're making progress, guys, getting slowly closer to the summer solstice. And if we go ahead and look at our extended forecast for the rest of the week, we are going to be looking at mostly same conditions, about mostly look at all those partly cloudy days, lots of clouds and a little bit of rain. Like I said, tomorrow we'll see some showers, or tonight, excuse me, you'll see the showers tonight. But for the rest of that, we are looking at mostly just cloudy temperature or cloudy conditions with about a high of 79. We are about getting to a high of 79, but not quite to the 80 degrees. So we are warming up. We are in the true depths of spring, but with that typical April showers, we are surrounded by clouds and rain. So it's not the best, but we are getting there. So that's a wrap for your Tuesday forecast, but I hope you all have a sensational day, no matter what rolls in. For KSTV, I'm Casey Baylog.
The NBA playoffs continue to create havoc as the Cleveland Cavaliers continue a dominant offensive run with the help from James Harden. How he fared with the rest of the team next on your Kent Stater Sports Report.
Registration for Lavender Celebration is open now. Lavender Celebration is a historic pre-commencement ceremony held to honor queer graduating students. Now hosted by Pride Ken, this event will be held on April 30th from 6 to 9 p.m. in the Kent State Student Center Ballroom with a community reception at 5. Join us for a free dinner and award ceremony with keynote speakers and watch the graduates walk the stage and receive our iconic rainbow stoles. Bring your friends, family, and absolutely anyone, regardless of how you identify. Scan the QR code or go to the link below and register today. Registration closes April 20th.
There's a lot of fear in coming back to school. I'm a 40-year-old man that walked in there to get his high school diploma. It was very hard for me, but one of the teachers was Miss Araceli. She gave me direction. Every single time I had a question, she'll put down whatever she's doing and she'll sit there with you until you get it. 50% of getting your high school diploma is walking through those doors. The other 50% is doing the work.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
What are you doing in there?
What's that?
I wouldn't do that. What are you doing? What are you looking for?
This is your Kent Stater TV Sports Report.
Welcome back. Well, women's soccer is coming to Columbus. The National Women's Soccer League has awarded the Haslam Sports Group an expansion franchise.
The Haslams, who famously own the Cleveland Browns, also own Major League Soccer team the Columbus Crew. Now, the group is expected to pay just over $200 million for that expansion.
Woof. Well, the team is set to play in 2028, and now with that news and even more sports, we're going to pass it over to our correspondent, Evan Schofield.
Evan, what are your thoughts on the women's expansion making its way to Columbus?
Yeah, hi guys. Definitely a huge thing for the city of Columbus, and obviously a huge thing for women being represented in soccer, especially in the state of Ohio. So I'm really glad that, the Haslams were able to kind of get that deal together. I heard the city and county each are contributing a $25 million for a training facility just for the team. So it's going to be exciting to see how that goes. So I'm very excited to see that, obviously 2028. But while this is going to be the second and last week of programming, sports never seems to take a step back. So we're going to dive into things, starting with our softball program. So today, starting on the mound, the Kent State softball team competed in a marquee matchup against visiting Youngstown State for a midweek doubleheader at Divine Diamond earlier today. Last time out, the women dropped all 3 of their games against Ohio University, showing lots of fight, especially in their final game. Kent has lost its past 9 games with a 17-25 record, and another rough matchup against a tough Penguins team will definitely take some quality effort. Last time I checked, the team was leading 7-4 over the Penguins. That could have changed, but that's the last thing I saw. So now we'll move over to the Kent men's team. Their golf team secured the victory yesterday in the inaugural Murfield Shootout, achieving a 36-hole total of 579. Now, while a 3-way tie for second was possible with Michigan State and Miami, Ohio, the Flashes finished as 1 stroke clear of it. The men fought a hard battle back from 6th place in the morning with a round of 296, then moving back to 283 for the victory. Sophomore Darcy Hogg and freshman Christopher Lewinhagen tied for 4th at an even par 144 to help the Flashes take the top spot. The Flashes tee off next at the MAC tournament Sunday, May 3rd. Now moving on to the majors on the diamond, the Cleveland Guardians dropped their first of 3 games against the 9-15 Houston Astros last night with a score of 9-2. Houston pushed their slump out of the way as Isaac Paredes hit his first 2 homers of the season. Slade Ciccone, gave up 6 earned runs and 10 hits for the Guards. Cleveland registered 8 hits but could not get runners home. Game 2 is live currently in Progressive Field, and that is where we're going to take you. So we're in the first right now, 1 out. Obviously, a big storyline of the Guardians today was Parker Messick. Now, this is a guy that came into Cleveland. He's played about 2 years with the Guardians. He's sitting at 3-0, 1.05 ERA. This is a guy that could kind of shift the way people are looking at the Guardians in this game, especially after that slump yesterday. So, second year with the Guardians. He's 6-1 in his career, so definitely the pitching advantage over Houston there. So, a lot to look at for the Guardians right now. Still the first, so a lot to look at here, but this could be a potential win for the Guardians, especially with that pitching. And if he could have the batting at a higher level, that is certainly something we could see moving on, but we'll see how it goes later on. Now, shifting over to the football world, it was announced this morning former head coach for the Steelers, Mike Tomlin, will continue his professional career at the desk. The Athletic confirmed to many insiders that Tomlin will sign to join NBC as an NFL studio analyst this coming season, serving on the Sunday Night Football pregame show Football Night in America. Tomlin will join another former head coach of the Steelers, Bill Cowher, in the broadcast world after resigning from the organization after 19 years as head coach. So certainly an exciting future for Mike T. But speaking of futures, how about an exciting future for those Cleveland Cavaliers there? We're letting them know Game 2 of the playoffs. Donovan Mitchell ready to get going in this one. Obviously, James Harden, a big addition throughout mid-year. The trade deadline, huge for them. So we're going to start with a Donovan Mitchell perimeter three. He has just been on a roll. 30 points in this one, 25 points per game in the regular season to make it 7-2-15. Cavs are on a roll. Now Dennis Schroeder to Evan Mobley on the dunk there. Mobley been really good too. He also dropped 25, 111 for 13 on field goals. James Harden, oh my, making Scotty Barnes look silly. And on top of that, it gets into the tip-in three-point attempt. James Harden is getting these Cavalier fans just excited. What a move for the Cavaliers, moving him into the team, making it 50-40 now. Now, going to pick up some steam are the Raptors. Barnes to RJ Barrett for the layup. Joined that hometown team December 2023 as we head to the fourth. Barnes, a driving layup, going to fight through some contact through Evan Mobley. Foul, and he will get those points, 92-99. Now Donovan Mitchell yet again, and he has been money, 90-102. Cavs are going to end up taking Game 2, 115-105. Cleveland, their 12th straight playoff win versus the Raptors, so a lot to look at there. Well, the Cavs continue bringing the heat as Game 3 is this Thursday at 8 p.m. Tune in, but that's all the sports I have for you today. For more, check out the Kent State on all socials, and be sure to tune in to a brand new episode of the Playbook Podcast and Sports Corner for KSTV. I'm Evan Schofield. We do have, before...
We have so much to talk about. Because I don't know if you guys feel this, but I'm sensing Believe Land is back.
Oh, I'm sensing Believe Land is back.
So what's happened with the Cavs? What's going on?
A lot's happening, and we're letting them know.
But we are letting them know.
I mean, do you anticipate we're going to have another blowout like Saturday for the playoffs?
No, I think this is a very winnable series if you're the Cleveland Cavaliers. This is certainly something that you get James Harden. You know, you have Evan Mobley. You get rid of Lonzo Ball mid-season. You're like, all right, we're competing. Now,
I want to see it keep going.
Yeah, the Celtics are probably that Achilles heel for the Cavaliers. So I'm curious to see how they move on, but this first series should be no problem for the Cleveland Cavaliers.
A lot of exciting stuff in Cleveland. Evan, thank you.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Well, Bigfoot, the Loch Ness Monster, and the Mothman. All things on the cryptid that could become Ohio's very own coming up.
When you adopt a shelter pet, you discover their unique mix of all kinds of traits.
Where'd Wiley go? Where's Wiley? Ah, there she is. Paw?
Do you remember being an ancient wolf? Do you ever feel the call of the wild?
You're a renegade cop, and I'm a con woman with nothing to prove. But together, we could really solve this murder.
They're a little bit of a lot of things, but all of them are pure love.
Today, the world could use a little more understanding. Understanding nurtured by shared values. We come together at Kent State. Different dreams, different viewpoints, united by purpose. Preparing to make a difference in our divided world. Wherever you are in your life's journey, come learn with us. Begin at Kent State.
We said we'd never break the 3-second rule. Never do that. And never become a minivan mom.
Hey, Chris.
As parents, we say never a lot, but never happens. So when you say you'd never leave your child in a hot car, know it can happen. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock.
I don't want to talk about it.
I don't want to talk about it.
Families don't have to talk about everything, but they should talk about how to plan for an emergency. Get tips and resources to make your family's emergency plan.
Well, Cindy, there's Bigfoot, there's the Mothman, there's the Loch Ness Monster, and pretty soon Ohio could have a cryptid of its own. A new bipartisan bill was introduced by a pair of lawmakers aiming to designate the Loveland frog as Ohio's official cryptid. Now, the Loveland frog is, as you can see on the screen, a frog-like bipedal amphibian, roughly 4 feet tall, said to exist near the banks of the Little Miami River near Loveland. The bill has drawn bipartisan support and is now headed to the House. What do you think of that?
I mean, it's pretty interesting. Portage County's had its own little folklore recently with
Bigfoot sighting, right?
Bigfoot sightings. I don't know if anyone here has seen it, but I'm in for it. It adds a little excitement.
Do you think the Loveland frog over Bigfoot? Do you take that?
I'm going to say we got to go with Bigfoot.
Gotta go with
Sasquatch all the
Bigfoot.
way.
Wow, okay. All right.
Thank you so much for joining us this evening.
We will have a special edition show next week to close out this semester.
That's right, and we will be live for an hour next week starting at 6 p.m.
And going until 7. Well, we can't wait. I'm Joe Malbin.
I'm Sydney Brown. See you next week, Portage County.
Hello. Mom, you gotta stop this. I'm in a library, okay? What could happen?
Yeah, stuff happens. 1 in 4 college students end up in the ER. That's why you need Emergency. Everything you need to handle an emergency. Share important info with your family and friends. Feeling unsafe? Help is 1 tap away with Urgent Alert. Upload your insurance card and your medical consent form so your family can speak to medical staff. Download Emergency now while it's still free, before stuff happens.